Hey, welcome back to Desolation. My name is Lawrence,
And I'm counting my dice, William.
and this is Substandard Roleplaying with KC
I'm Casey from Questing GM.
and Dave.
Hi, I'm Casey from Questing GM.
I think you got mixed up there, man.
I should be Dave then.
A little
I'm
mixed up,
eTaurus.
but whatever. It's all
I'm-
cool.
I'm,
TV / eTaurus.
Yes. Oh God, now you're doing it too, William. What have you done? Yes,
You're
I'm Dave
becoming a brand.
from right, twitch.tv/eTaurus. Subscribe to the Substandard Gaming and Role Playing channels.
Cool.
Man, one
Thanks
day
for
you're gonna wake
plugging
up,
us.
you're gonna get like a letter in the mail from like the tax man, and it's gonna have your full
I'm
name's
the
just gonna
tax
be
man.
Dave. Twitch.tv/eTaurus. Taurus. That's just gonna
Yes.
be your full name,
That'll be my name. Yeah.
and then it'll be all
Perfect.
my fault. You'll never track me down. You'll know, but they won't believe you.
No, they won't. They won't. Anyway, hello.
That
Well,
our intro took what 2 minutes when it should have taken 30 seconds.
Everyone loved
I'm still yawning
Just-
like a motherfucker.
Just put a timestamp. Actual gameplay starts here.
That's what
I'm
KC
actually-
does, actually.
I was just gonna say. I was actually gonna say, like, I'm not actually really joking. Some people who just want the gameplay, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I guess.
But if they
I mean,
want to, get
Given
the
some intro
personality.
can last for 10-15
Yeah.
minutes, I don't really
Absolutely.
blame them.
Well, like last one was a perfect example because we were going over rules and stuff, right?
Yeah, and the good thing is we don't have to go through any rules today.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't screw up last time.
We
At least I
screwed
don't
up.
think so.
The only thing we screwed up was William's plans.
Yeah.
That's what
But
we do every
you'll-
session.
Yeah. You'll still get that one guy in the comments like, yeah, you jagoffs, why don't you do more role playing?
I did so much.
I'm not myself anymore.
Mm.
I just need my PDF open.
That's what I'm looking through right now. Yeah.
Scrolling.
So I think last time what we did was we traveled a lot, actually.
Mhm.
You
You went like 4 days.
Yeah. Most notable thing that happened last week was we basically ended up at a crossroads where there was a huge tree, right? With
Mhm.
cages of people in the tree. And I accidentally killed 2 people.
That wasn't
Very
accidentally. That
accident-
was
Very accidentally,
premeditated.
precisely. Yes.
Accidentally killed 2 people. It's like,
I-
how did my bow get there?
I
How did the
accidentally
zero shoot?
shot him with
Who
an
was
arrow
the
in his
accident? The
sleep.
killing of the people?
And then after
I
that,
appreciated the wariness for the birds. It's like, are those
Yeah.
birds going to attack me? No, they're just being birds.
well, it's your fault. I mean, the whole
Mhm.
whole campaign for 3 episodes. It's like you
I-
you hear things in the sky. Is
they're
it?
coming.
Do you see feathers or do you see scales?
It's
like-
gonna be bird time one of these days.
You are totally like, if we don't have like a bird or something attacking us from the sky, it'll
Mhm.
be really a huge letdown. Is what it's gonna be.
It's like that
Eventually.
old,
that.
it's like that old D&D campaign we
Now we're
did.
gonna
Every
die.
time we passed a certain set of hills, roll perception. You'll never know.
Cool.
Oh,
All right.
boy.
So, I guess let's get started then. Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool.
Let's do. I've learned from my folly. In episode 4, we're going to do an intro. Welcome to the world of Desolation, a post-apocalyptic fantasy role-playing game that allows players to explore the traditional sword and sorcery setting in a new way. High fantasy world has been lost and shattered and reshaped. Civilization has been lost. Mankind has nearly been destroyed. Even the laws of magic have been broken. I really wanted to do that.
Duh.
In episode 4.
All right, that's a longer
know-
timestamp now.
Yeah, that's a new timestamp. Take note. What is Desolation? Episode 4. Okay, so Maximus in cages and Kane, and Rami is somewhere in the distance.
He's in a cage. We strung him up in one of those cages.
Yeah, you traded him for Riddick, your new amputee friend.
Yes.
He's lost a hand.
Right. We saved a guy.
But game for friends.
Mhm.
What was his name? Did you tell us?
Riddick.
Riddick.
Yeah, like the Vin Diesel guy.
Okay.
I was
Exactly
thinking the
what I
same
was
thing.
thinking. Either that or the rest of the Riddick Moss.
I right time. And so the only real task for you now is to actually make your way to Callum so you can finally get to the library, get what you need, and get the hell out of here.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like that's what we were doing, right? We were gonna head I can't remember if we rested and then called it or if we traveled and then called. But yeah, we were heading west.
That was the
Along the
easiest
road.
thing to remember.
Yeah.
I know. This is
I
the
mean,
exact
we can
starting.
see civilization off in the distance, so
Right, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're heading in that direction. I believe that Grom wanted us to get there and meet someone,
He
right?
did.
And that someone could tell us more about how to get to this library. How to, if I remember correctly, the library was not obeying one of the laws.
Yes.
Cement. Lots of cement.
Right, the law of cement, which
Yeah.
we needed to find out how to make it obey that law again. And apparently this guy knew how to do it, right?
Not so much knew how to do it, more that Grum likes him a lot. And he's like a step above Grum in whatever pecking order that he keeps babbling about.
Okay.
Right.
Well, I'll tell Grom if he brought us on a wild goose chase, you know he's going down. He's going down hard. He will wish that he had never met me. Seriously.
He understands this. He is. He's certain you're gonna like the guy.
I'm gonna hate the guy. I can tell right now, I'm gonna hate this guy.
I'm gonna hate the guy.
Well, you're not gonna have to really wait to meet him because nothing extraneous is gonna happen on your walk. Are you walking along the road or next to the road?
Isn't that what
I-
along means?
I mean, we could walk. We're close enough. If I'm remembering, like more of a Badlands type thing, where
Mhm.
walking off the road is probably not going to hinder us in speed
Not
too
too
much,
much.
at least. So it might not be a bad idea, given what we just seen and experienced, to maybe kind of take a little bit of a wide berth.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Play it safe.
if we don't go too far off, they're still going to see us. But at least maybe.
I mean, one of the reasons why we needed to get on that road was because we didn't have enough food, or no,
Right.
water. Water was the big deal. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I found water, so that's no longer a problem.
Nope.
So you're fine.
So yeah, we can take the long way around, I guess, if
Yeah,
It's a
necessary.
shame those people. It's a shame those two accidentally died, but we really got a lot of water from them.
Oh
so.
man, you did so well.
Yeah, I think you know what, path of least resistance. We hike a kilometer or so off the road and maybe half a kilometer, enough where we like if we see something like 18 horses of people, like we might have a chance of not being spotted. Type
Right.
thing.
I totally agree. Let's do that. Yep.
Right. Okay.
Cages.
So
He's becoming fond
Agreed.
of me. I made a right. I made a right decision.
Cages, he's all aboard what I want to do.
Wait, I've been more agreeable to almost everyone.
Yeah. Let's not die. Yay!
Make smart calls, then
Hooray.
I'll agree with you. Make stupid calls, then I'll disagree with you.
I
It's
mean,
simple.
it's clean and simple. Absolutely.
The more smart calls you make, the better I like you.
Well, we will. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. You'll probably be fine. What I'm doing now is I'm just sending it in the Desolation spam on Discord. Is welcome to Duggle.
Duggle.
Yay!
So the red is going to come up to this, it is comprised of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 buildings. I just had to double check my counting.
Your counting is right on.
Thank you. So these 10 buildings are surrounded, all those lines like around those clusters,
Mhm.
those are like trenches that they've dug
Oh,
with
Oh, okay. Cool.
boards going across. So they've like sectioned off the different areas.
So
That
it's like moats, but without the water.
essentially, right.
Okay.
The round building is of a similar design to the chapel that you first found near the mountain that you spent the night and found all those books.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
The separate buildings are just like single story farmhouses. And that ring of buildings is double storied with tiled roofs rather than like, more simple building
So
materials.
probably the upper class of the small little hamlet we're walking into.
Hmm.
Possibly, well, I wouldn't even say royalty, just the people in charge, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
So,
As we approach, are there
Mhm.
any guards or anybody who's taking up
there
a
are
defensive position?
there are people milling about doing their daily business. You could guess probably 20 outside at the moment in the daylight. No one is on guard
Mhm.
per se, but there are some men departing with bows and more pointy stick spears. They're going off, I guess, to the relative northwest of this picture.
Okay. I can
I'm
probably
gonna
recognize
stop.
another hunter,
I'm,
right?
yeah, but I'm gonna stop Maximus first.
Okay.
Maybe it's time we start unbinding Grom. Like people wouldn't want to waltz in, showing everyone that he's our captive,
Mm.
which he technically isn't.
I don't like it. They just
We are walking into his home territory at this point. We should be
Yeah,
lucky that we are not the ones being bound.
I mean, he makes a good point. Like, if we're gonna want to try to go in here and get them to help us, that may be a good idea.
uh okay, so Maximus will reluctantly unbind Grom. I'll give him a stern eye as well and say, I will track you down and hunt you till the ends of the earth if you have screwed us over. And then I'll let him go. Basically.
He smiles, graciously spreading his hand, saying, "You don't need to worry. There's no trickery to me. We have formed an alliance and a bond, you and I." And he's going to look at everyone while he says that.
And I mean, I'm gonna just kind of look at Maximus and kind of look around and be like, I mean, I don't know where we'd run to. We're kind of in the middle of nowhere. I feel like this is a safe place to
I'll look at
give him a
Kane and
chance.
say, if Cages is correct and Grom has led us to his home ground, then it seems like there's an entire village full of people who would be against us.
This
We
is true.
could
This is true.
literally be
Yeah.
walking him to his allies right now.
That is fair. That is fair. He won't be able to escape, but they would outnumber us. Yes. So hopefully,
Which is why we should be friendly.
Yes.
Very friendly.
Yes.
I mean,
Okay.
Maximus
Any other
nods.
concerns, Maximus? Or else we can have Grom lead the way.
Not out loud, but I'll say at this point, I'll take Cages aside and say, this is more of I've gotten us here now. This is more of your thing, speaking with the locals. So
Yeah. That's what I brought you all here.
yeah, so It's like almost if I'm literally like handing him the reins now. Here you go.
Uh-huh.
Good luck, Cages.
Right.
I don't deal with society very well. I'm more of an outdoorsman. So talking to people is your thing. Here, good luck.
Let's see how talkative these people are.
Alrighty. Grum's going to take you directly on the path then, if you're just going to follow him. As you get closer, the ring of buildings seems more to be built like an old fort, rather than something that like is newer and so on. It's like these people have found this and then built up around it. Is more of the feeling you get. And there's people that kind of look at you as you're coming in, and there's whispers. Some people greet Grum, and they want to know what's going on. Why has he brought in these outsiders? What do you want? And Grum has promised them that you're here to help them. Basically, he's called you allies that have joined him on his quest, and you're all going to go talk to the priest to find your place. He's like making all these lofty promises about what you are.
The old fort that you were talking about.
Mhm.
It's something from our past, from the Empire.
It looks Ascondian
Okay,
in
and
construction.
would it be like a military barracks or something like this that you're talking about?
Something like a minor lord would have for his own protection.
Right.
Something
So
more designed to be held. Than
usually
anything
barracks
else.
have an armory, right?
True.
And those kinds of weapons and stuff have been they're rare now, right?
Hmm.
They're carrying wooden sticks, effectively.
I know, but someone must have. I mean,
A
if
sword.
this entire fort was transported here, someone must have the weapons that came with this fort, right? Even though the commoners have wooden sticks, I'm sure someone has the tools and weapons that were found in this armory before. So it might be a good idea to keep a lookout.
Let's hope those are Grum's friends.
Hope so.
Okay. So Graham's going to lead you through an lead you through the front door of this chapel, which is about 2 stories high, but it doesn't look like it's like livable space above it. It goes into like a peak kind of thing. And inside, he uh, he walks you into like the main hall area. There's wings off to the side, similar to the other one, and with the curtain drawn back at the back of the room, there is the man Callum that like Grum has been going on about. So he's wearing like a long black robe, kind of looks like a Catholic priest almost, but with like military like shoulder things and lapels. It's like this weird mix of religious and militaristic. And on his left side is a dull, like a dull steel sword. It's longer than a short sword, but shorter than a long sword. It's like somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
It looks like it's had some reshaping done. And he's going to look up and see Grum. He's gonna like stand up and come and beckon him and give him a hug. Are you wanting to know anything or do anything?
So
I think at
I'm
this point,
Yeah.
I'll be just sitting back, letting him do his, greeting his his people and everything, and just kind of keeping an ear open or eyes open for anything, maybe like signals or anything like that.
Okay.
Maximus
mentioned that.
also will
How
sit
s-
back and let Cages do his thing.
But how similar is this chapel to the one that we were, like in terms of structure, in terms of decoration and furnishing? Is it
In
almost
terms-
exactly?
In terms of furnishing, this is made out of more perishable materials. So there's actually like cushions on wooden benches. Yeah, the
Right.
pews are newer. They're nicer. Still like the ratty, like half created. Not obviously not made by like artisans and
Right. More
like
crude,
actual carpenters. Right.
Right.
It's more crude, but
functional.
it is it's a lot nicer than what the Hamlet says from the outside. So
Right.
this is it would be like this is a central point for all the people in the town. Like they put a lot of resources into this. Structure wise,
Okay.
it is smaller in terms of overall size.
Right.
But the central, like the main hall, is as big as the other one.
Right.
Right.
Anyone else about other than besides the priest?
No one inside, but you are hearing voices outside.
Right. Okay.
Hard to tell how many exactly, but there is gathering outside.
Maximus will keep a hand on his axe,
Hmm.
just in case. It's always at the ready.
Good. So, you're going to notice Grum telling his story of where he was turning to the moment he got captured, and when he was forced to sleep like an animal, and then he was put into your care specifically, and he's going to gesture backwards. And he's going to compliment you. He's kind of like like schmoozing on your behalf. And the callback that, or like the thing that sounds familiar to you, is he tells him that you answered the blood with him. You're not afraid to kill, and that's what we need. As part of his like religious ravings.
Right.
And at that point, he's going to put a hand on Grum's shoulder, tell him to go clean up and get new clothes or something. Go off, have some food. And Grum's going to pat Cages and Maximus on the shoulder. And he's going to say, "Good luck." And he's going to hustle his way out.
As Grom walks away, I turn around just to like speak to Grom's back, like,
Mhm.
goodbye, friend.
I think that requires a
that-
check of
that-
some kind. He's trying to pass off, right? He's trying to pretend that we're Grom's friends. So, I mean, something.
Sure, we can roll dice. Why
Yeah.
not?
That's
What
all.
kind of
That's
dice?
all.
From
William
the role
hears is,
playing too. It's like, goodbye, friend.
Goodbye, friend.
So what
Grum
should it
is
be?
my buddy. Maybe empathy?
Empathy.
Yeah, because that is something your character's good at.
Hmm.
So it could be like trying to make a fool Grum into thinking you have a connection.
Interesting. That's actually very interesting.
You don't
Let's
have
see,
like
how do
deception or something?
I don't. I do have con, like as in conning,
Oh.
con artistry. But
You could
I
do
don't think
that
it's
if you would prefer.
no. Well, they're both the same rating, so there's not really that much of a difference. But I much rather fake a connection rather than
Right.
lie about connection. Let's see. All right. So that's 7 dice, and let's see how bad can it be.
Couldn't be that bad.
What's
I
the
think-
difficulty? Like how many
You'll
successes?
never know.
Oh, you don't have to tell
No.
us?
I don't need to.
Okay.
I can just to speed up gameplay sometimes.
It's
He only
more
does
fun.
it if it. Yeah, exactly. He only
It's
does
more
it if
fun
it's
that
something
way.
that,
I only do it if it's something you need to know.
or he tells us and it's a lie. That was the
Ooh.
difficulty you expected it to
Consequences.
be.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, okay. Four successes.
Grum's going to
But
give you a toothy grin, missing a couple of teeth. And duck out.
hopefully not the ones that Maximus had hand in removing with his fist.
Wake up! Another tooth. Every morning it's the same thing.
You know,
Okay.
I don't think I would have actually beaten him as we were traveling, though.
You had
Yeah,
it.
it might have been counterproductive. Can I take off experience for not being consistent?
No, it's just I think
Uh,
Maximus would be worried about the speed of the party, like
Yeah.
getting the party traveling, right? And
Mhm.
if he like continuously beat on Grom every day when they woke up,
That
like
would be a bit sadistic.
we would not have been traveling as fast as we would have probably. So I
Sure,
don't
sure,
think
yeah.
I don't think he would have done that.
No. So Callum is going to make like an open arm gesture. He doesn't want a hug, but he's going to ask you to introduce yourselves, new friends of Doug Hall.
Alright. So I'm Cages Gulliver. And my friend here you can see as our rough and tough guy here is Maximus. And our learned friend here is Kane. And we just happened to stumble upon Grom along the way. He was captured by a few legionnaires, and we thought we should help him. He didn't deserve the treatment that he got in the camp.
I see that look on your face, Lawrence. He's not lying. This is. He's been like. He
Think
really
about
believes
this,
that.
Lawrence.
Maximus is just stone cold. Doesn't bat an eye.
You're
And
honest when someone asks you.
he's going to point to Riddick and say, "And the leper over there."
Oh.
We found this. Yeah, we found this one all along our journey. He was trapped on a tree somewhere on the junction, and we couldn't leave him out to die with the vultures and horsemen. Apparently, actually, has there been reports? Have you been seeing any sightings of armed horsemen, raiders, perhaps?
He's going to bite his lip and say that he knows about the raiders that come through.
Sorry, I'm gonna go AFK for a second.
Sure.
Mhm.
So he knows about the raiders, and he's going to shout through. He's going to shout through the door for a man named Tyrell, and it's going to be a. He looks like a man that works with his hands, like of the land, all that good stuff. And he's going to tell him, Tyrell, this man has suffered. I need you to take him and water him. He needs help. He's come from, where did you say?
Oh, we haven't really spoken to him a lot. He still seems a little delirious. So maybe the rest would help him to get more information out of him if he have recovered.
Right. Tyrell, they have survived raiders. Please help him. And Tyrell's gonna like steer the man back out, leaving just the four of you again.
5 of us.
Sorry, 5.
Remy's here too, by the way.
I forget.
He's
Four
just
of
so
us?
quiet.
Well,
Sometimes
no,
you just forget about
that
him.
means
Yeah.
it's 4 of you now. Maximus, Cages, Remy, and Kane.
Oh, 4 of us,
All
right?
the-
Okay.
All the
Because
NPCs have
Grum's
been
gone,
removed.
and we've taken away your
We
saved
turn
friend.
around. Yeah, we turn around and Remy's not there, and we see him walking past the front door, just looking down at the ground, looking for things to pick.
Looking for herbs as always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be like,
Give me
what's
some
your
more
friend doing?
moss."
Well, he's looking for a little bit of herbs, you know.
Mhm. He likes those leaves.
Yeah, he likes those. Yeah. Oh boy.
So Callum is going to take his turn to introduce himself, and he's calling himself the Hierarch of the Scarlet King. And it's his job here to spread the word and get everybody ready, and help help build morale. He's pawning this off to you like it's some big community drive that he's part of. And I'll need you to make some kind of roll to see if you can read between the lines.
Empathy. This
Yeah,
is
that's a good
exactly
one.
what empathy is for. Read between the lines. And you won't tell me difficulty.
This one I will tell you the difficulty. This is going to be 3. He's a very
I'll take
smooth talker.
I'll
You'll
take
take
the
your
average,
average.
which
Aha.
is 3+.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just roll the last one for effect.
See, obviously you
Of
are
course.
smart because you've dealt with a lot of smooth talkers before
Exactly.
in your life.
I know a thing or two myself.
Oh yeah. So obviously there's something in it for him, but there's you can see like in his eyes there's a lot of it in it for him. If everyone gets on board, and especially now that you're here, and he's going to be, you'll notice him eyeing out, the weapons you've got on your hips, your backpacks. He's quite keenly interested in you. He's like really trying to hook you in.
Okay. Sounds like we are the ones having the advantage here. I mean, I'll tell Caleb, like, we are here to see what we can do. But at the same time, I think maybe there's something that we can exchange, like we can do something for each other.
He's interested. He's listening.
So we're actually looking for the library of Palestria. And well, that was what Grom told us where to find it. But according to the directions that he's made and the maps that we followed, it wasn't there. In fact, we actually found we found another chapel very much similar to this one, which is where we heard about the Scarlet King. And he said that we should be coming here to see you, to see, we can have a exchange of information and favors if need be.
And he's gonna clap his hands and laugh, saying, he's so happy to hear that you are genuine followers of the Scarlet King after hearing his words, seeking out lost knowledge. Unfortunately, tracking the library is an ordeal in itself. Where Grom may have thought it was when he found it, it is no longer there, unfortunately. It does not stay in place. So the trick is to find it, get in before it moves, or get it to stick around.
And this is something to do with the law of cement.
This is. And he's like now beaming, like this big smile. You know so much. You obviously truly accept and believe.
Well, we heard the whispers, so we are following the word.
So he's going to, at mention of the whispers, he's going to like embrace Cages. And he's going to whisper in your ear, I can send you a message.
Nice.
Where's my questing GM?
This is one of those exchange favors he was talking about. Get ready for it.
Nice.
And
Dun dun.
yeah,
And he's going to say, we'll talk business soon. For now, you are glad friends. And he
wary
wants you.
feet.
He wants you to. Indeed, he wants you to relax now. He wants to get you some place to sleep that's not on the ground, and
That's
maybe share some cheese with you
Ooh.
if they have any. He's not sure how things are going.
We can
So
speak later, Hyra Caleb. For now, I think my friends at least would like to rest their weary bones.
hmm And he's going to take you outside, where you're going to see about like 12 people, a dozen people, with farming implements outside.
Like pitchforks? Or-
With pitchfork.
Pitchforks, hoes, scythes.
Are they
And
happy
they-
looking?
Surrounding us? Are they surrounding
they
us?
look impassive. Maximus knows that this is a routine. You can see it in their eyes. Like, these are people that have killed. They have done this. They were just waiting. And Callum is going to say, these are our new friends, and they'll be staying here a while. And they're going to sort of nod, greet you, and all disperse and go back to their daily lives.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
mean, that-
Callum,
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Callum's going to take you over to the fort.
Okay. I was just gonna say this doesn't surprise me, given how fend for yourself it is out here. So at first I was like, "Uh-oh," but now it seems like we're genuinely accepted. So this is good. I'd like to try to perceive when they're dispersing to see if anyone is like looking back or giving like a side eye or anything like that.
Sure,
Like
perceive.
just to see it, it's a perceive. I mean, I guess it would be like in the unspoken, it would be an insight, but in here it would be a perceive.
Yeah.
So
You're just like checking over your shoulder.
yeah, just to kind of get an idea. I will
I see you, Jebediah.
I mean, I guess I might as well roll. I could take the average, but I'll just roll because it's more
But
fun.
rolling has so much value.
Oh, Jesus.
1, 2, 3,
Why?
4, 5, 6 success.
What massive value. So what you do perceive is there's a mixture of apathy but wariness.
That's fair.
Like, as you're walking past people, especially the group outside, they're measuring you up.
I would expect nothing less. Okay.
Yeah.
While we're in that scene, can I
Mhm.
would Maximus would also like gauge them and see how many of them are actually worthy fighters
Mm-hmm.
and how many of them are just like women and children with pitchforks.
Sure.
Do you want me to roll for this, or will you just tell me how many?
I'll actually just tell you. There's one like Tyrell that took away Riddick. He looks like he would have been a problem if he could get his weight behind a punch. And there were only 2 others that may have been worth their salt, like by the way they were standing.
Okay.
Everyone else was kind of, straight-legged or unattentive.
No less dangerous, especially if the first 3 get a jump on you. Everybody else can just pile on and stab with their pitchforks. So,
Mhm.
yeah. So we go to the fort, and I'm guessing we get a bunk or something.
Yeah, the inside is quite Spartan,
Okay.
and they've put up like wooden dividing walls where they weren't before.
Okay.
And there's essentially like a barrack building.
Are there
they-
people in this area? Like, what I'm asking is, like, can we talk to each other without being overheard, or are there
They
always
are
constantly going to be people in this area?
in the barrack. There's only children playing.
Still don't like it.
They're spies. They're totally spies.
Yeah. I mean,
It's the children.
we'll have to whisper
Yeah.
towards each other, and hopefully the
probably need
children
to
won't
find-
hear.
Now we probably need to find a way to find a quiet spot.
I'm sure we could find a quiet. It's a huge fort, right? So We could probably like find a spot to talk in. Yes.
You could, yeah.
Okay. So, sorry, I was AFK for a moment there. What happened to Riddick?
He got taken away to be seen to.
Oh, but do they know any? Do they have any information about what was happening at that tree? Like why those people were strung up or anything?
Nothing
like
as of
Um,
yet. He was still kind of
Actually,
there.
that's a good point.
We could check on him
Uh,
now, but we don't have
Yeah,
it yet.
it's Caleb the one bringing us to our room or someone
Yeah,
else?
it is Caleb.
All right. So I'll just say to Caleb before we have our meals, we would actually like to see our wounded friend, just to check up on him, just to see how he's doing.
And he nods and he says, "I didn't realize you built a bond with someone that you found on the side of the road."
Well, I mean, we picked him up with, from compassion. So it's.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say we necessarily have a personal bond with him. We haven't been able to connect with him because he was, not in his right mind. But we want to make sure that he's, he's on the road to recovery and see if he does in fact have any information that might be useful for us, so that we
Okay.
don't accidentally walk into the horseman.
So he's gonna make you drop all of your like backpacks and all your travel stuff, and he's going to take you back out to the cluster of buildings behind the fort. And one of them is, it looks kind of like a field hospital almost from the Legion. So it's clean enough. It's one of the few places with a floor that's got any effort put into it. And there's bunks like pegged into the walls. And Riddick is in one of the middle ones, so he's easier to get to. He looks like he's just sleeping right now.
Is there anyone else?
There's two other people that are like kind of groaning and holding their stomachs. And
Okay,
there's
at
like
this
a
point,
medicine man in there.
at this point, Remy would, like our doctor,
I know
would try
for
to
a
do
fact.
something, right?
Remy would be busy in here, yeah.
Yeah. Remy would probably speak up at this point and ask to see the patients and take care of them, or probably like start taking over the infirmary as well or something.
Oh
I'm
no, you don't
guessing.
do it that way. Let me show you how to do it.
Yeah. So this is where we're gonna drop off our backpack character.
Okay.
We dropped off our backpacks over there.
In fact,
Yep.
it would
Character
actually
here.
be pretty nice if Remy could shoo everyone out, besides the patients.
He probably absolutely would shoot out like the other medicine man that's in here.
So
Can we ensure the other two patients who is not our friend is asleep?
Remy could
Yeah,
put them to
that
sleep.
sounds like a Maximus thing. I'm just going to ensure that they're asleep.
I probably would have given Remy like some kind of sleepy tea or something.
I'm sure with
Well, we
Remy's
still have
skills, he could
mushrooms.
probably like
He does still have the mushrooms, yeah.
he could whip something up. No
Yeah, so we
problem.
could say time passes and they are just zonked.
He had managed to find the 5-pointed chloroform leaf. Yes, it's very rare, but
Just rip it in half, plug the two halves up their nose.
yeah.
So while Remy's, securing the area for us, we will have like 3 people standing in around Riddick, who's asleep. Everyone's looking down at Riddick, and he's like, speaking to each other like over Riddick.
Yeah, I can see this happening. Why not?
In hushed tones, we have to.
Yeah.
Was the medicine man still here when we got here, or
He was there, and then I would have assumed Remy just like kicked him out.
yeah, because I was gonna say, but if he's already gone, that's fine. I was gonna ask him if he'd gotten anything sane out of Riddick yet.
Oh, on his way out. So Riddick could only say, "Don't take me back,"
Okay.
before he put the sleeper hold on him.
Yeah.
There are chairs around his bunk, right?
There are stools here.
Right. So we can sit on the stools. We don't have to be all three of us standing over him.
No,
looking
no. You don't
at
have to be
his
holding a
body,
memorial
right?
over his
Right.
body.
Exactly. We can just sit.
I'll be the one that like quickly takes the comfortable stool.
The one with 4 legs, not 3.
Yeah. You know who I'm talking about. It's always that one person. It's just
There is that one guy.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So what do you guys do? You guys want to like we could just leave Remy here to watch him and go like I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if we want to
think-
wake him up. I think he needs his rest. Maybe we can leave
It's
Remy
just-
here.
Yeah, but here, this is an area where we can just talk.
We're not
to
here
each
to
other.
talk with Rick.
For sure.
We're not
No.
talking
I
with
mean,
Rick.
like, yeah, after we're done talking, like we could go do our thing. But now that Remy will be here, so it's not like Riddick's gonna get up and leave.
Right.
But yes, after we're done talking, I think we can at least that way, if Riddick does come to, Remy might be able to speak to him and hopefully ensure that he doesn't try to. It doesn't sound like he's in a rush to leave, at least not going back the same way he came from, but he may very well want to try to get home wherever that is.
Right.
And we'd like to know where that is. So at least having Remy, one of our party here, he might be able to get that information.
So
But-
that's Remy's job for now.
We can
Basically
chat
tending to
for now.
Riddick and I guess these 2 other patients as well, and trying to gain favor by healing them, and also trying to get information out of Riddick when he's more sane about what the hell happened at the crossroads. Now, for our situation, I think I, for one, do not trust these people one bit. I mean, you saw what happened after we stepped outside of the church, right? The temple. They were ready to
Mhm.
kill us.
Mm-hmm. And I'll just I'll speak up and I'll be like, yeah, they definitely were. I was watching them closely as they dispersed, and I really just get the feeling that they are wary of newcomers, and I think that's fair for this, especially this area and the world in general. I sensed some genuine, concern, but no malice in terms of like I don't think we're being played. I'm pretty sure that they were defensive, but understandably. I don't get the impression that there's anything more at play for what that's worth.
Mm. What do you think, Cages? What do you think of Callum, actually? What did you read off of him?
I think Callum wants us on his side, which is not something that I think we want him on our side.
They keep saying...
He seems interested in our equipment, which is probably a very good reason why he wants us on his side. We have metal, and as you can see from the rest of the townsfolk here, it seems like that's something they're sorely lacking, and may not even be very good at using it even. So we have that advantage to us, but it's just a matter of how are we going to use that advantage to our advantage. Caleb is arranging to speak with me in private because he believes that we are maybe some kind of chosen people who has heard the whispers, and therefore it is time for the Scarlet King to do his thing, which I'm not necessarily looking forward to, but we can definitely use that to our advantage as well. And he said to me that the time is almost here. So I'm not exactly sure what to make out of that. Maybe, Kane, you read something from the tombs.
Yeah, can I kind of do a quick index in my head to see if that sounds familiar, the phrase of the time has come, or like if there is a specific date and or time from like a reckoning or a rebirth or any sort of that from the Scarlet King?
Right. If you quickly think about like the main religious pretext section, the time was referred to as an event.
Okay.
It's like an event where a whole bunch of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Rituals coincide.
Okay, and do I know what the ultimate goal of that is?
The ultimate goal of that is to gain power.
Like mystical power or like political power or what?
It's not very specific.
It's not.
Fair enough.
Well,
So I remember reading something about the time has come. He's probably referring to this ritualistic event that is done. I didn't really see any details in terms of like what the goal of this was, but it seems to be some sort of a a climax in the belief system. I don't have the details in terms of like what the rituals are for or what the intent of it all is. I'm not sure if it's a summoning, some sort of a summoning thing that they believe that the Scarlet King will return. That I'm not sure about, but I think we
Right.
definitely want to be wary of it, because it'll be nothing but diehards doing this.
Fanatics.
So,
Yeah.
fanatics, yes, exactly. So,
and I have a very big feeling that it's going to involve a lot of bloodletting.
that's my concern. Given the Scarlet King is color of blood, I kind of have concerns about that.
So that's going to be a wrench in the plans because it seems like we're on a clock now.
One might even say a
And
pitchfork in the plans.
and the thing is, I'm not
Soundboard.
exactly sure how are we going to wean him telling us where the Library of Balestra is, or at least how to get it to stay intact
Right.
for us to get in there without going through those rituals.
I think a lot of this comes down to what information he's going to tell you in private, right? He's going to summon you, apparently, and
Yeah.
you're going to have to meet him in private, and you'll be able to gain more information then.
Yep.
It would be
Hopefully.
nice if they must have books here. They must have something, a manuscript, scrolls.
Well, if you remember what we saw in the last temple, we know exactly where the books will be.
Right. We just need to get Kane there so he can read this information and understand it and give
Yeah.
us more. If we could get permission for that, that'd be great. I'm still
I highly doubt Caleb would let anyone go through those curtains, even if we ask nicely.
right. I'm still like, I have the same feeling as you, Cages. I think that eventually there will be some type of bloodletting, either sacrificial or ritual or just plain, because we're fighting. But there will be some bloodletting that will occur. It's just how is it going to happen is the question, and whose blood will it be is my concern.
I mean, let's be clear. I mean, I don't mind bloodletting for survival. I'm not so keen on bloodletting under the name of some crazed god or something.
Mhm.
That's just not my style.
It might not matter. We might have to do it anyway just to get the information from Callum, though, is what you're saying.
Well, if we can't get the information on the library, or at least how to get there, then that may be something that we'll have to consider having to do just to, gain his trust even more.
Right, that's the thing. And I still can't shake the feeling that these people would just turn on us like at the drop of a hat, basically. Just turn on us and just.
I think
stick
if
us
they
with
have reason
pitchforks.
to, yes, it just seems very much that they are at the beck and call of Callum and them. Like,
Well, maybe they're
said-
not as dangerous as the
Correct.
Tyrell guy.
yeah,
I think
they may not be.
that's not a concern. But I don't know. I think, if you really want to improve our odds, I would say like an exit strategy of some kind would probably be prudent. Maybe there's some resources that we can, let's say, borrow on our way out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we have free reign of this fort. I don't think he's allowing us to go anywhere we want yet, right? I didn't get
Well,
that impression.
we can scout out the place, from a visual point of view.
Okay.
At least that'll
Okay.
give you something to do, Maximus.
Yeah. So I'll
So
take Kane with me We'll scout out the area, and then you can get ready for your
So
appointment.
what else do we want out of Caleb other than the? I'm thinking maybe I'll talk to him about the library as much as we can. That's the most important thing. The second thing, maybe if by some magical possibility we can get access to the books behind the curtain in the chapel, that would be great. Anything else?
Maybe if you spin it as trying to learn more of the Scarlet King. He seems to be impressed with our knowledge of him already. Learning more of him might be a way to go get on his good side.
I think I can insinuate Kane into doing that.
Right. So then maybe he should go with you. Maybe he should wait.
I mean, yeah. I'll speak to Caleb just to see if I can get his approval for that.
He
But I
probably
can
won't
definitely
be
use.
open if
Yeah,
I'm there.
but I can still put in a good word for Kane. He's probably the better person to read that thing.
Right.
Me.
For now, when was your appointment? When is he going to call you? You know?
I have a feeling it's probably after our meals. He might make a feast or something like that.
So for now, let's act natural. Go back to our bunks, rest up because that's what they expect us to do, right? We've been on a long trek. Go to our meals properly, and then after when he calls you, hopefully it'll be around nighttime, and that's better for sneaking around anyway. So.
Yep. All right. So we've got our plans.
Yep.
Ready, break.
And I pat Riddick on the chest. Rest well, my friend. Rest well.
Good acting. That gets a definite style point right there.
All right.
Oh, and an experience for being here. I forgot that.
Oh, even better.
And a second one for getting here.
Okay.
Oh. Wait. Second experience?
Yeah.
So we got 2 experience points.
You got 2 total now.
Yes. I'm so close to my palate.
I'd like to at some point, at some point I'd like to, if there's an opportunity to speak to Cages kind of off to the side, whether once we're back or so if Maximus has gone, I don't know, to the bathroom or something like that, and I just want to say,
gone to the pit.
Yeah, it's gone to the trenches, the shit mode. I basically want to say, so I remember reading. I was wondering if when you go to this meeting, I could try to do some sort of a almost like a telekinesis. I'm wondering, I remember reading this thing, and I don't really know for sure, but I'm thinking maybe if I can tap into even almost have it so I can kind of hear your conversations, and if there's certain information that I can feed back to you. I don't know if it would work or not. I can try it, but
isn't that telepathy, not telekinesis?
Sorry, telepathy. Yes, that's what I meant.
Same.
I didn't. Thank you. Yes, I didn't mean telekinesis. Either that or maybe. Yeah, I mean the other thing is I don't know. I the stuff that I've been trying out is more it's more tied to the weave, so it might even just be maybe I can tap into the power of the wind, and even if it's just a one way, I can hear what's being said. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it might be worthwhile?
I think that's a great idea, but is it going to affect me or?
Well, that's the problem. I don't know. So I don't really, like they say, I'm by no means an expert. It was just something I was thinking about. So maybe we don't want to take the chance. I mean, just report back after.
You can do your thing. Just make sure it doesn't hurt.
Yeah. That's always the goal. All right, I'll see if I can come up with anything, and I'll kind of let you know beforehand if it's something I'm going to try. But it was just something I was thinking of. If you get caught in a situation, I might be able to come up with the answer by reading something and getting it back to you. But it's just something I was thinking of. Oh, Maximus is coming back. Crap.
Maximus, buddy, we were talking about you.
You do not want to go back there.
Yeah,
I'm just about
do not go out there.
Was it clean?
You know, the moats have been pistoned, but that's the first time they've seen a number 2. All right, so Are you gonna go take your offered nap?
Yeah.
Oh, we can even get a nap. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyone
Callum was
else
very
wounded?
specific about like rest.
But we
I've
will
got no
take
wounds,
watches.
so-
We'll take watches.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Watches?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
He just likes having a nice warm bunk.
Okay, fine.
Or after what?
I will not
2
sleep
days?
then. I'll
Okay,
sit there
that's fine.
sharpening my hand axe.
I mean, I
That's-
don't mind taking a watch because I'm always at this point, because of my considering what this stuff is during my watch, I'll just be kind of pouring through some of my journals and stuff to see if I can.
Can you imagine Kay just trying to sleep? It's like every time the sharpening sound goes like,
I mean, you're welcome to stay up all night, but I don't want you to be exhausted.
Oh, we're not
Maximus, so
staying up all night, right? We're just
It's just
taking a
afternoon
real,
siesta.
like an afternoon. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. All right then.
So after a period of time, when the sun is less violent and aggressive, you hear a bell ringing in the central courtyard of the fort. And upon investigating, it was calling everyone to a meal.
Oh, great.
Yay.
There's a whole bunch of tables that they've put together, and Callum is like busy pointing and directing people. You know, like start the fire, get more meat. Someone is going to mention that there must be big news. Like you'll overhear the chat, people wondering like, oh, why is he doing this? This isn't festival time yet.
He just mutters under his own breath. It's going to be a festival very soon.
Style point.
Oh, cool.
So
I can start
it's
spending these.
yeah. You're gonna need them.
Mm-hmm.
So the long and the short of the dinner with everyone is Callum is introducing and welcoming all of you. You know, making it very clear that you are much wanted additions, and everyone should try to get to know you better and welcome you as if you've been here like all this time. Grum is next to him, nodding. But when the introduction gets to Maximus, he's gonna like nod a little less vigorously.
It's fine.
And during the meal, Callum is going to come up to Cages and put his hand on Cages' shoulder and ask him a moment of your time.
Are we having wine?
Oh, there'll be time for wine, I assure you.
All right, so I just take a quick turn of my head to Maximus and Kane and just do a quick nod and turning back without even seeing what they respond to.
Yeah.
I stand up
Mm-hmm.
ceremoniously and leave.
And you'll be following behind. And this is where we'll split the party, because spoiler
Always
for
a good
you
idea.
is he's gonna lead you on a little bit of a walk. It's gonna be a bit far
Interesting.
out of the bounds of the hamlet. And Kane and
That is
Maximus.
I was just gonna say if and when people do approach us to discuss things, I'm gonna try to be obviously taking note of everything they're saying and who they are and everything, but seeing if I can determine a contact or who might be the best way of us getting into like proper channels, but getting into this like the library. Like if there's someone who's like who works in the area, or like just from talking when they're like, oh hi, I do this, or hi, I'm this, like just to see if I can find any good contact to try to, you know, aid us down the road to get into what we need to see. Not, you know, shady stuff, just getting a better understanding of the hierarchy and who does what, just so I can kind
Right.
of maybe plan down the road of how to, you know, pull the right strings or know the right people or gain the right trust.
So in total, there are 55 people that live here.
Okay.
Basically everyone lives inside the fort. Some people live out in a field with relatively fertile soil where they grow root veggies.
Nice.
And there are people that kind of like the medicine man. He kind of lives with his vocation in life. Callum and Grum both live inside the chapel. And other than that, everyone just kind of, does what's required of them. They don't have many formal structures.
Okay.
Yeah. So everyone's kind of chilled out.
Tell me about this
Yeah.
food that we're eating.
This food that you're eating is all like
What are we eating?
either you're eating, as mentioned before, like boiled and roasted veg, so like onion, potato, carrot, all root stuff, nothing that grows above ground.
Are we
And
still in the desert?
there
Like this
is
area is
cheese.
still desert, right?
It's like semi-desert.
Okay.
There's incredibly hard cheese and a lot of dried meat,
Okay.
since it's hard to preserve. Very salty. Tastes almost like lamb.
So anything that tastes remotely human, like they're not into cannibalism or anything, are they?
Have you eaten human before?
No, but
So how would you know?
I hope that I can figure out what a finger looks like and a toe, or
It all looks like strips of meat from like really rudimentary cuts you'd get off an animal. Stuff that
Okay.
you would be able to do.
Well, during the meal, I'll politely nod and talk
Mhm.
and make chit chat if necessary,
Mhm.
and then I'll just be waiting until the meal's over,
Yeah.
basically.
There is a short woman with like platinum blonde hair that's kind of attached herself to you in
To
the
who?
seat next to you, Mr. Maximus. She's like kind of like scooted up in the chair.
Ah, God.
Not in an obnoxious way,
Mm-hmm.
but like hanging on your words, that kind of thing.
See, I totally envisioned myself being almost silent the entire dinner. Is what I imagined myself being.
Steven,
But
that's
okay.
exactly what she likes.
That's why it's so noticeable.
The
Because
silent
when you do
brooding
talk,
type.
she like pays attention. It's not like
Falls over
girly.
your every word.
It's not girly, but she is attentive is the word I'd use.
The first thing that I'm going to do when I look at her is I'm also going to gauge her and see if she has any kind
Yeah,
of
you are.
military background. And I knew you guys would take that the wrong way, but I'm seeing if she is like capable of fighting.
Anything military about her are
Yeah.
her missiles.
So what
No,
you're
she's-
asking is you
she's
want to
got
know if
nothing.
she likes it rough, is what you're saying.
No, that's not what I'm asking.
No.
Oh, okay. I
You know,
misunderstood.
like it rough with a dagger in your throat.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm asking.
She,
Oh my god.
she looks
That's
like
what
she
I'm
spent
asking. That's what it's like. Is she trying to stab me
I
in the
know
back?
Maximus so well. You're lucky
From-
Peter isn't there anymore.
from just the look, it looks like she's been weaving tapestries her whole life. There's
Okay.
like no muscle on her.
So, very simple conversation. Hello, what's your name? Okay, bye-bye. That's pretty much
Yep.
it.
I would
didn't
say that
expect more.
no. I given that nice. High five. No, I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I will say that having the food and everything delivered, I was hesitant at first to eat, and I was kind of looking around to see if anytime, Maximus or Cade, just when he was here, was taking a bite, just to kind of see if anyone was like taking an extra notice. Like, essentially, I was trying to get an idea if maybe we're getting poisoned or something. Nothing crazy, just kind of a
Yeah.
general like look around when we first start eating, just to see if anyone is paying really close attention to every time we take a bite.
No, the food's all like really mixed in. People are picking from like
Okay, cool.
you know
Alright.
the same areas of the table you are.
Okay.
There are 3 guys that are like they'll periodically like look over at you, talk. They don't seem to stray too far from each other.
Is Tyrell one of them?
No,
Okay.
he's absent.
I'm gonna lean over to Maximus and I'm gonna be like, sorry, I don't mean to break up your flow here, but
Maximus
I
is
just want
totally confused by what that means. But anyway,
I see your game, man. You got it. Anyway, I just want to let you see those 3 guys over there. Don't look, but look, but don't look. I don't know. They keep kind of. I've just noticed that they kind of keep looking over at us. So I mean, just keep an eye on them. But maybe nothing. It might be nothing. But and I kind of like motion towards who I'm talking about, or I describe, the guy with 3 eyes or whatever. He's like, yeah,
guy with
just
3 eyes. What the hell?
no. I'm just.
How did I
just
miss
curious.
that one?
No, I just mean like whatever, something noticeable or something where I can be like, hey, the guy, blah, blah, blah. Like I'm basically gonna just let you know that I don't know something. They keep looking over, and like again, we're the center of this dinner and the purpose of it, so maybe that's all it is. But I don't know, just something I picked up on.
Maximus will nod and say, I guess, understood. And then that's it, basically. He's
Okay.
taken in this information. He'll keep an eye out for them. If they make any hostile movements, I'll get to go first, hopefully.
It could just be that you're flirting with their girlfriends. I'm just saying. Maybe Platinum there. She's
Mac totally no expression on his face right now. Just blank.
Metagaming. It would be like when we used to go to Limelight and we would be dancing, and then like girls would come over because we're having a good time, and then guys would get jealous. And remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
That was always hilarious.
Anyway.
It's good times. Anyway, yeah. So
So
Platinum Blonde. Her name is Greeley. You remember this from the note you found in the tent?
oh, this is
didn't Greeley say in the note, don't go there or don't do that or something? Can you remind me what the
Right.
note said?
Yep.
And that's it. You don't have to go. The tribute's not that important. Please just come home.
Signed, perfumed.
Signed and perfumed.
So at the mention of her name, Greeley, God damn it. You're gonna make me roleplay this?
No, I'm not gonna roleplay this. We're gonna leave it and go to cages.
Okay, that's better.
You can stew. You can stew on that.
Mocking kill, boyfriend killer.
That's my favorite part about running a role-playing game. It's like, okay, I seduce her. Go for it. What? Seduce me.
tell me what you want.
Always
Woo
the most
me, big boy.
No.
Okay, so Callum has been very quiet on the walk.
Cages is going to make noise. Where are we going?
He's going to
To
say.
save you.
He's going to tell you. He's going to let you in on a secret that he has here. He feels like he can trust you.
Sucker.
Is this something to do with the alcohol?
Says absolutely, and he's going to point to a gentle slope with what looks like a sort of Stonehenge, but like really small. He's going to point over to that and say, "That's the alcove, and that is the key to our power. I just haven't had enough people yet.
I've heard a lot about this power. What kind of power is it?
And he's going to say, well, you found the Tree of Perdition, where many vile things happen, and people are just left to rot and die. They must be routinely replaced at the whims of a madman to the north. He calls himself the Eclipse. And he requires people every so often. One or two. This happens as he rotates between various towns and hamlets. If we don't provide, we get made into an example, such as, and he's going to rattle off like 2 or 3 other names of places. And with a little bit more sacrifice, we'll finally be able to have the tools to fight back and claim our freedom. This is the will of the Scarlet King.
All right, just out of character for a bit. I'm trying to remember, is this coinciding with one of the laws? And I can't remember which law was it. Was it blood?
Was howling.
Howling, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's there
the
was a
desire
mention of
to be free and do what you need to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll definitely mention that to Caleb, that you're talking about the law of howling.
And he's going to tell you correct. And as those conversations happening, you're going to get to the alcove, and the stones are in moderately good repair. There's no moss for Remy to harvest. And in the center, there's a table with 2 parallel, like, waved lines that look like they've been painted brown, that have been, like, engraved into the table. The table is probably 2.5 meters across. And he's going to say, this is a seat of power.
Look, what do you need to unlock this power?
And he waggles a finger at you and says, ah, you know, but you don't know everything. And he's going to go to the other side of the ruins, and he's going to drag a person that's been bound up from behind one of the rocks. And you recognize this as someone from the hospital earlier. And he's going to throw him onto the table. And he'll beckon to you and say, please, take your knife and put it in this man's hands.
Yeah, I draw my knife and I like give him a second look, like you want me to give this knife to him?
Indeed, give it to him, as if he's about to prepare dinner for you.
Okay. So what I'm thinking of doing as a character, I'm going to try to read him like, is he? Well, he's probably not trying to pull a prank here, but
Right.
but I'm just trying to read what he intends for me to do as a result of giving him the knife. At the same time, while I'm passing the knife.
Right. So
I'm obliging, but
yeah,
trying to understand
he looks
what he wants me to
very
do.
physically tense. So you might want to take a step back.
Who's tense?
He looks
Caleb is
tense.
tense of
You can tell that violence is coming, but it's not violence for you.
Wait, am I misunderstanding the situation? I'm passing the knife to the guy who's gagged.
Correct. You're putting it like in his hands.
And Caleb is tensed.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still gonna try to read Caleb while I pass the knife.
Right.
So
So he, on his face, you'd be reading some kind of mixture of like anxiety and excitement. He looks very conflicted and tense.
Caleb does.
Yeah, Caleb. The guy that's
I'm not saying what I'm thinking because I'm not here.
yeah,
But I'm
Yeah,
the guy that's
right.
bound and gagged is fine. Well, as fine as you can be. in
How
this
is he?
situation.
Sorry.
The guy who's gagged is he like calm in a drug manner?
Right. He is unusually calm. So you could assume he's been drugged. You could assume something's
Right.
up with like there's something not right here.
Abnormally calm in
Yeah.
a sense.
Abnormally calm. This whole thing reeks of a setup. So when you do give him the knife,
Mhm.
Caleb is going to draw his sword,
Right.
and he's going to, in one actually very clean swing, take off the head of the imprisoned man, for lack of a better word.
Right.
And in that, there's going to be like a shimmer in the air on the table, and your knife is going to glow red hot, like it's gonna like heat up. You'll smell like the burning flesh of the man's hand against it. And Kellum's going to be, he's going to look like pleased with himself, and then say, when it cools down, you'll be able to take your weapon back. I have blessed it for you. For what it's
And
worth, Caleb looks like he is about to. he looks like super stressed out.
I look at the heating the red hot dagger,
Mhm.
my red hot knife. Then I look at Caleb and I ask him, what is the cost to this? More lives? Is that it?
So he puts his sword away and says, I don't know how this works. It's some magical relic. We discovered this effect purely by accident, but blood fuels it and it strengthens our weapons. Right now, we are in a sorry state and in no position to defend ourselves. I must help them. I will free them. And he's going to point back towards Dougal. Now that you've seen this, I do not want to sacrifice my people. It's not my people we're going to use for this. It's their people. We will weaken them and make ourselves stronger. We are the ultimate spear and shield.
And how do you propose we get their men? There are like dozens of them. You don't have an army. You don't have even have the weapons to arm them.
The tree of perdition. They leave people there, not our people. These people are dead anyway.
So if we steal their tributes, wouldn't the raiders come looking? Wouldn't the Eclipse come looking, finding where their missing tribute went? I mean,
But it will
we
be too
can't.
late. They'll never know. By the time they come for us, we'll be ready.
You
Make an empathy
mentioned
roll.
empathy. Right. Let's see. Hmm. Okay, I think I'm gonna do something interesting. I'm gonna
Mhm.
spend 3 style points,
Yep.
which brings my rating up to 10,
Mhm.
and then I'll average that to 5.
Okay. That sounds really good. So
Look at you.
yeah, that gets you a pretty good success.
Which is I wanted a high
So
difficulty.
you're seeing a lot of the hints of the fanaticism that Grum showed before, but there's also like an immaturity to his tone of voice, like where he's really not seeing the scale the way you see it. You know, you're dealing with
Right.
you're dealing with a guy who thinks he's got it all figured out, but really
Yeah,
doesn't understand
It
how the
isn't
world's working.
exactly. Okay. Well,
So you've got a bit of a madman on your hands.
yeah, never try to convince
Turkey!
someone who believes they're right.
Right. He honestly believes that this is the best way to do it, and he can fend them off.
Okay, that answers my question already.
Mhm.
Well, we'll just play along then. When is the next tribute? Do you know?
That was supposed to be a day ago. And the next one is happening in 4 months' time from their town. So there's like a routine dropping off of people at the tree.
Yeah,
Like
right.
when they die, they get exchanged. So in 4 months' time, the eclipse is going to come back for Duggle. And he wants
And
to
it
have
will,
everyone armed by
and
then.
it will be Darkhold's turn to
Right.
submit the tribute.
They're going to have to submit the tribute. They're
Right.
going to have to send off
Right.
13 people to die.
But there weren't that many when we were there yesterday. And in fact, most of them were already dead. And I don't think that's how your seat of power works. So it doesn't sound to me like there's going to be anyone at the Tree of Perdition anytime soon. Unless you're suggesting something else.
Well, he says there is something else that now you can help him with. You mentioned a trade earlier. Here's the trade. I have given you a stronger weapon. You are going to give me a weapon, knowledge. Now that we have done this, I may have beckoned the library.
This makes the libraries obey the law of cement.
I do not know. I may have. I'm hoping it's connected through my belief.
Let's hear it. So where can I find the library now?
I don't know. Grum goes on missions every time we attempt this. He has found it once. So that's why I sent him out again. To see if he could work his magic one more time. And then he got intercepted by you.
Just a moment. I'm just trying to read, like when he said work his magic, did he mean literal magic or he's just using that as a
He's just
figurative
using
way?
it as a turn of phrase.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering the same thing.
I was like, have we been mistreating a magician all along? Because now
no!
Maximus should really start hiding.
Yeah.
Or I should finish the job.
Yeah.
All right. So you've been sending Grom out after every time you do this.
Mhm.
Do you send him out to the same direction every time? To the desert?
The desert was the last place we thought to look because I know of the temple there. It seems to be attracted to places where the Scarlet King is known.
Has there
Beyond
been
that, there are other locations less remote. Some are additionally populated. It really is a guessing game.
The last time Grom found it, it was at the temple. Has there been any other temples that you know of that you haven't sent anyone there yet?
He's going to have to check his maps and think about it. He couldn't say offhand right now.
Because now that we are here, we can help you go 2 ways rather than 1. You can send Grom 1 way, and we can go the other. And you're gonna have a, 1 in 2 shot of finding it.
Right. He likes the way you think. Maybe this time, maybe this way there'll be a turning point in the world, and he can start making things right again.
Well, knowledge is power. Listen, after what the world has become. And speaking of knowledge, maybe my friends and I can help you right now. Kane, our learned scholar.
Yes.
Well, he's a
your timid
scholar.
friend.
He's a scholar by trade. He knows a lot of things. He can read. He's read a lot of things. And we were wondering, was there any records kept in your temple that we could maybe investigate and see if we can glean something out of it that could be helpful in finding the temple or the library?
I could use a partner in my deductions. He's not buying into the Kane looks alone thing. He sees himself in a partnership with you guys.
Right. I think Kane is going to be like wonderful help to you. He's much more knowledgeable than myself or Maximus in the way of the words, and you need to look at maps. You can ask Kane. You need to decipher any ancient text or interpretation of any religious ones as well. I think he can help in more ways.
He's like grown more like pensive and quiet the more you explain this. He says, very well. He's gonna like look up at the sky and see the sun and go, I think it's time we get back, or else we're gonna be stuck out here whenever the churs come around, and you are not going to like them.
Right. I pick up my dagger without knowing if it's going to be hot or not.
It's not going to blister you, but
Okay.
you're gonna want to like carry it in like your shirt or your cloak or something like Like, ow, ow, ow.
Okay. Try. I don't even think I can sheath my dagger into like it's gonna melt on itself. So I'm gonna have to trying to find cut a piece of my cloak or something and wrap around it and pick it up.
Yeah.
Just use some of the guy's brain. Use some of the guy's brain matter that's spilling out.
Oh, gross.
You
could probably rip off some of the clothes of the.
That's probably what Maximus would do, but I'm cages.
Yeah, Maximus would quench it in the blood of his enemies.
It's not warm
enough. Kind of tip the body over, and as blood flows out, it goes cools off.
Speaking of Maximus and Kane, towards the end of the meal, you're going to see Kay just come back with Calum. Calum's cherry disposition is going to be gone, and Grum's going to go join him.
Maximus is going to recognize the face on Cages like that. Maximus also probably shows himself. He's seen some shit.
That's great, but I'll keep my mouth shut for now.
Right.
We'll discuss it when there's no one else around, I guess. For now, yeah. So we see Kay just get back. He looks like he's seen some shit.
Pretty shell-shocked.
Uh-huh.
And you're saying Callum does not look as
He's been like so
chipper.
genial
Yeah.
since he got here. He's not his usual genial self.
Well, I think I'd be very, very relieved, actually, that Cages has come back alive. Is the first thing, actually.
Buddy!
Again, no expression on the face, just a nod. At least he's back. And then continue on with the feast? I don't know. When's it end? Jesus
The
Christ.
flirting? Yeah.
Well,
Continue with the
people.
flirting.
When
At this
people are
point, I
done,
think
they,
I would have
when
tried to
people are
pawn
done,
her
they
off
disperse.
on you.
Me.
As people are done, they disperse out. So
Okay.
like it's thinning gradually. So there's not many people hanging around. Greeley's gone.
Good.
She's
Aw.
pissed off before K just comes
Aw.
back.
Well, I'm disappointed.
Mhm.
Did we determine, or I guess Maximus more so, if once he realized who it was, like if she was just maybe trying to get information, or if there seemed to be a genuine interest and she's moved on, or like what? Did he?
Hard to tell.
Okay,
Yeah, the two of you aren't exactly people persons.
that's true.
I could
I-
intimidate her into telling the truth.
Yeah,
Tell
What's
me
your case in
now!
case in point.
Are you a spy?
Not people person.
What secrets do you hold?
And I just like, oh god, it's a woman, and I hold a book up in front of my face. Oh.
I haven't spelt one in 35 years.
No.
Melt one.
Not since my mother died.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh
no.
God. Okay.
Oh my
Moving
gosh.
on. Okay. So at some point the feast ends. We go back to the
Yeah,
barracks, and
at some point, everyone's done.
I hope the
People are
children are
packing
not
away their
sleeping in the
leftovers.
barracks with me.
Yeah,
You
they were
said-
sleeping.
You said this was
What?
it was
In the
it was
barracks?
Callum who put this together?
Yeah.
It was Callum who put the feast together?
Yeah, he is the de facto mayor.
Yeah, de facto,
Right,
yeah.
that's what I thought. So when we were dispersing, I'm gonna walk up to him and just thank him for the wonderful hospitality, and is like, by no means was it you did not have to do this, so it was very much appreciated by I know Maximus is not a man of many words, but I know we all appreciated it, and it's wonderful to have met some welcoming folk in this tumultuous world. So thank you very much.
Mhm. And he's going to put back on some chippiness and say, "Yes, thank you. Your friend had an enlightening conversation with me, and he says you have many talents that I think we can work with.
Oh,
We can cooperate very well together, I think.
oh, that would be wonderful. Yeah, no, I'd be happy to help out however I can.
Please be on and rest. We'll talk more tomorrow."
Wonderful. Thank you. I bid you adieu.
Goodbye, sir.
Okay. So we
what
get
intend to do?
to go back to the fort. Go back to our barracks. And
Yep.
then Cages can tell us all of this information that we just heard, basically.
Cool.
Anything you want to
Yeah.
add, Cages?
Cages,
In the
you look
montage
very,
of information.
yeah, it's like, Cages, you look really disturbed. Did he point to me on this doll where he touched you?
That's my favorite time skip. Time skipping the info
Time
dump.
skip.
Cut it off. So TLDR, well, whatever the spoken equivalent of that is, Caleb is using sick, dying people of the village as sacrifice to empower this thing that he calls a seat of power, which for all intents and purposes is a sacrificial altar to power up weapons, and I'm guessing it only works on metal weapons at this point, because otherwise we would have done it. He would have done it long ago with the sticks and pitchforks and hoes. He's got a crazy plan, which I don't think any of us are that interested in following, even though if we know the details of stealing tributes and all that. But the good news is we've got access to possible access to the library that we can set out to find, and he wants us to find it, which is the good thing. And he might need Kane's help to do that.
Oh, that must be what he was referring to when we were leaving dinner. Okay.
Right. So
Well, well done, Cages. Well done on getting that trust built up.
Wasn't easy and wasn't exactly worth it, but we've got to survive on these tumultuous times, he quotes.
So he sacrificed one of the patients that we saw earlier.
Yes, and let's hope that Riddick isn't next on the list. Or
I'm surprised Remy let him go. Like, I'm surprised Remy let him out of his care.
I don't think Remy knew that this was coming.
Plot
They might have.
twist. He's
They
the
might have.
leader.
I think
Yeah,
before
no,
the night is over, I'm gonna visit the hospital ward or wherever the infirmary, just to make sure that Remy's okay and
Yeah.
Riddick's okay as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Remy's fine. Riddick is fine. There's only one other person now.
I'll ask
Yeah.
Remy, what exactly are his symptoms? Is he dying? The other person, I mean.
Yeah. So it seems to be a food poisoning, but it's as if he ate something that was actually poisoned. It's like he's poisoned, but it's mild and it's weird and complicated. It must be some herb he doesn't know about that these people
Oh,
are putting into
man.
their tea or something.
Uh,
Some kind of pretentious these idiots don't understand.
I had that feeling that we might have been getting. So I wonder if they're poisoning the whole town slowly.
I can add to that because that's probably how they decide, or Darko has been sending tributes to the Tree of Perdition, as we now have a name for it, and they are due for their next round of tribute. 13 of them, according to
So you're
Caleb,
saying that
in the
13
next 4 months.
You're saying he's going to pick 13 people from this town to go and
To the
die
tree.
on that tree.
Yeah.
I'll
And
remind you, there are
this-
only 8 cages in the tree.
I was
But
gonna
he
say, I
wants
didn't think there were
13 people
13.
anyway.
Mm.
So
No,
what's he
13 is
gonna,
going to leave the
and
village.
only
8
and
is
what's he
gonna
going to
get.
do with 5 of them? Either way, I mean,
I mean, we've seen what they can do with one of them.
right. I need Riddick to wake up. I need Riddick to wake up right now, and I need Riddick to give us information.
We can
Well, about the eclipse. The eclipse was this Mad King who's residing on the north, and he's the one who comes collecting the tribute. So we know what they mean by the eclipse is coming.
Sorry, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Yeah, and basically the motivation for Caleb to use this altar, which is also known as the alcove, was basically to arm an army that he doesn't have, so that he can fight against the eclipse. And he's actually even considering sacrificing the eclipse. As he puts it, the more we weaken them, the stronger that we get.
That makes sense.
They're gonna be coming to dark hole, right?
Yep.
In
Dark
4
hole.
months.
Yeah.
But this.
Well, they have to send their next batch from Darkhold. That means if Kayla doesn't get what he needs from the library, then he's gonna have to send 13 people out from Darkhold.
Yeah, but in 4 months. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the people to the north, are they going to sacrifice more people from other towns on that tree within that time?
Possibly, but I don't think that's what Caleb is concerned about.
Then Caleb said that he's going to sacrifice people on the altar by taking down people from the Tree of Perdition and using them. Yes? But there's not going to be any more sacrifices on the Tree of Perdition, you're saying. The next one is us, basically.
That's what I told him. But Caleb at this point believes what he's doing is
Yeah,
the right thing.
there's no more
It does, I know it doesn't make
mission.
make sense, but he's not someone who makes a lot of sense anymore at this point. I don't think anyone in this town makes any sense.
It sounds to me more and more that he's got a plan to continue these sacrifices. And that's why I'm wondering.
The only people he can use for those sacrifices are people from his own town.
Yeah, right. Which
or
is exactly
us. Basically, he's got us.
Yeah.
We're new people that have just come, bearing weapons, metal weapons that he needs.
I start counting and like he needs 9 more. So
I'm wondering if so we said, there's 8 cages, right? And we're giving up 13. What are the other 5 for? The 2 people that Maximus accidentally killed. The note from that woman basically said like they were going to do the tribute, did they not? So maybe the other 5 have to go and do some sort of ritual or something with the 8 that are caged up or something. Unless I'm misunderstanding that.
That's a possibility.
But
although it sounded like he did it by choice, which didn't make any sense. But I don't know. I'm just trying to.
At this point, however, I mean, this is all conjecture, and we're not sure about anything. We can't figure it out until it actually happens. For now, right?
Yeah.
This guy's crazy. First of all, is what we can all agree with. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So what can we do? I guess to fulfill our mission. And the first thing we do is we need to go along with this guy anyway, because we need to find that library. Because that's our number one goal right now. We need to find that library. So Kane needs to go into that chapel of his and read those books and figure out any other information that Caleb might have missed. We need to prepare for another trek to who knows where. I guess it'll be on a map somewhere, but we've got to go. The question is, if we do find the library and if we get this information, what do we do next? Do we come back here and help this town out, or do we just go back to the the Legion of Warders where we came from? I will say, however, that this civilization to the north, or the city to the north, that's forcing these sacrifices, this is something that either the Legion of Warders will have to deal with, or when the Empire comes back, they will have to deal with them. But either way, they'll have to be dealt with. So, I don't know. Helping this city right now, I don't think we can pull it off. But we will eventually have to deal with them later, I'm guessing, right? Anybody disagree with me?
No.
I think the Eclipse and Caleb should be both dealt equally.
Yeah. Because whether it's done in their mind for right reasons or not, it's still terrible.
It's still sacrificing, yeah.
Well, that's just it. It's still human sacrifice, and
better to die fighting than giving up your will to live.
Yeah, and
the question is,
somehow these people are giving up. From what you told me, like they know they just took the knife and. Well, you explained what happened, I assume, right?
I explained how the whole sacrificial thing works.
Yeah, so it's like
now we have a magical dagger.
Yeah, and you said that they didn't seem to
magical dagger.
Didn't seem to get disturbed when you handed them the knife, which tells me that they're becoming complacent, which tells me there's something going on, like the poisoning or something. Like, who would be? I don't know. Something's not right. I feel like
I like to imagine they were induced, or I like to believe they were induced, because it's far too dark to think it was done otherwise.
Voluntarily, yeah, that's fair.
Is the town in on it? Like, is the town? Are they all fanatics as well, just like Caleb is, or are they innocent? And
or Caleb is brainwashed, or
are they brainwashed, or
you've seen the people outside the chapel?
I tend to agree that they are probably they're just as fanatic, maybe a little bit less, but probably
They're
just as
certainly
fanatic as Calum is. Yes.
I would say that they're certainly loyalists to Calum,
Yeah.
but I don't know if we can determine if they're fanatic to the
Yeah.
religion or not at
So,
this point.
like, if we were going to rectify this situation when we come back from the library, how exactly would we do that? Would we just kill the entire town? Would we kill Calum? Would we? I mean, what are you suggesting here?
I think
With
we
just
need
the
to.
4 of us.
Yeah, I think we need to, through conversation with people, like understand which it is. Are they devout followers of the Scarlet King, or
Right.
are they
If there's
devout
like
followers of Calum?
right,
Because if they're devout followers of Calum and we get the sense that they are doing it out of their own safety, like they just listen to him because otherwise their sacrifice, like it could be a threat thing, then we could take out Calum. Whereas if it's
the
which
whole
we don't want
town
to hope it
is
is, but the
yeah.
whole town is like, please take my life because I'm a fanatic, then that's a whole different ball game. Because then taking out one person is only going to get them against us harder. So we really need to determine what we're dealing with, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like 4 of us taking out Calum is one guy. 4 of us
Yeah.
taking our entire village is entirely different numbers.
Yeah,
And there's always the third option where we
we just leave.
both of them alone,
Mhm.
right? We leave this town alone. We leave whoever's up to the north alone. We just head back to the Legion of Warders where we came from and just finish our mission by going to that library, getting whatever we need, and then coming back.
I don't think that's a bad idea for now, and we can always reassess. But I think we do have a mission. We need to complete that. That I think should be our primary focus.
Well,
But along the way, if we gain other information, we can always reassess.
so let's work with that, actually. For now, we'll leave what we're going to do with this town and what we're going to do to the north. We'll leave that aside for now, and we'll just focus on getting to the library. Yes?
I think
So,
so.
Kane, I think that's one of your primary goals. Eventually, Callum is going to call you, and you're going to look at whatever books, maps together, figure out where we're going, get some information about the Scarlet King if you can, right? And all these
Yep.
rituals that we're doing. During that time, what Cages can do, and what I guess I can do, is we can walk around the town and kind of get to know these people a little bit more and try to figure out whether they are indeed being brainwashed or controlled through herbs or just complete crazy fanatics, I guess. That's what we should do.
That makes sense. I think that's smart. Yeah.
I mean, we have some time before Caleb decides where to send us
Right.
to find the library. So yeah, we can certainly do that. I mean, we can ask around, but at the same time, I think we shouldn't be too obvious with our intentions.
Agreed.
Totally. Asking around can raise different kinds of suspicion as well.
Yeah, I don't really think we should ask around like a door to door. Hey, do you believe it? No, like definitely not that. Just kind
No,
of.
I mean, even
be
asking the wrong
observant.
kind of questions can get you the wrong kind of attention.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, it can certainly, especially with fanatics, if that is what they are. Maybe it's more. I think it would be.
It's
more
safer to
prudent
assume
be-
that they are until proven otherwise.
Yeah, I almost think since we're not primarily focusing on this, I think we can work in a more passive manner and just listen for things that may give us information rather than probing for it. Because if they're fanatics, it's going to come out.
Right.
They're going to say, they're going to be like,
and word is
oh, I heard
circulate
you're
really
a follower.
fast.
Like, especially with you, Cages, because like the belief, if they're all fanatics and Calum still believes you and trusts you, that word's gonna get around, and you'll no doubt have other people coming up to you to speak to you, because he seemed to, as soon as he thought you were a follower, he was all about, like, we've been here a day and he showed you this stuff, like. So I feel like if everyone is, you will most likely be approached and not have to do the approaching. If there's more,
That'll be
that's my thought anyway.
That'll be the easier way to do things. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll focus on our primary task, and then I will ask when we're heading to bed after all of this, I'll say, hey, so this dagger thing, I'm very curious. Would you mind if I examined it, see if I can determine what exactly
I unfurl my cut piece of cloak and show it to Kane and
Actually,
say like,
before we go back, before you do that,
Yeah, it doesn't have
did
to be
Riddick wake up?
Yeah, all that stuff that I sent you is what he told you.
Okay, so Riddick, when I woke him up after our conversation, he says that he came from Naples. Is that how you pronounce that? Okay, Naples,
Correct.
a large town of over 200 people. They came into an alliance with a lot of desperate settlements and are spread out over a large area. So there are many settlements, actually, I'm guessing. He was abducted and woke up in the cage and was there for 2 weeks, being watered by visitors like the two that I killed. Some people live and die, and some are tortured, some are swapped out. He can't make rhyme or reason of why or who, I guess, but it's just horrible. The Eclipse is a man who considers himself a god. He is a despot that is trying to curry favor with the orcs of the mountains, trying to become a man beast. Okay. And this is the information that he shares with me.
So those two people that came there, they were basically sent to essentially keep the sacrifices alive.
I guess that's where your 5 comes in.
Uh,
Yeah, so they're
Yeah.
the ones that get sent out maybe on rotation to keep the others alive for the proper
We're gonna-
sacrifice.
we're
Although
gonna
he did a
sacrifice.
terrible job of getting rid of the vultures, and I'm assuming that the vultures is they were calling them churs. I'm assuming that's what well, we don't know unless you asked. But when he said when you were heading back, and he's like, "You don't want to be out here when the churs get here." I'm assuming it's vultures, but I don't know if that's actually what he meant. Because vultures.
And I
right.
right.
Possible, but we don't
Unless
know
it's
yet.
unless it's a linguistic thing. Is it a linguistic thing?
One of you does have a linguistic skill.
I do.
I think.
Exactly. Like I tell that to Kane. Like he mentioned.
No matter what you
churs.
rolled, your guess is, it's just that.
I mean, it makes a lot logical sense. They were the ones that they were vultures around the tree, and
Tree. They're
it
probably
sounds
around.
the same. So that's probably all he meant. We don't want to, and it's true. I wouldn't want to run into them if I was out there. So, okay, interesting.
If
No,
this
they're having-
settlement is legit, though, right? If it is legit and these are just innocent people being like abused by the Eclipse to the north, right? Would the
Mhm.
Legion of Warders want to help? God, DM, would the Legion of Warders want to help the settlement and settlements like these out?
They would want to investigate, sure. They don't have any specific authority.
They wouldn't spend resources to defend these settlements?
It's like a mercenary army. So they'd like shack up, they'd help out, but only as long as it was like useful.
So they want to know what they're dealing with. So it would be an information mission, and they.
But right, like a place, for example, like
I never
being
took
so
Zaren Claw.
large, they could maybe establish themselves.
Yeah.
There's like your mind can play all sorts of like what if situation if like strong alliances were made.
Right.
Okay, so that means that even more strength to our plan. If we don't have any more information to go on, we go back, we report what we found, and then we will have better numbers, so we don't get outnumbered. If they in fact do want to investigate further.
Mm.
Plus, we'll have mercenaries, not just learned scholars.
All right. Which one do you want to do first, or do you want to do Kane first, or do you want to do Aegis first, or what are you planning?
About the dagger, we'll get that out the way.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take a look at it, and I'm assuming I can't just by looking at it, I'm assuming I can't determine anything.
No,
So,
you could
yeah.
roll one die. If you
And that's
succeed,
exactly what I'm
then
going to
you
do is
can
try to
poke
detect.
it.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to use inconspicuous casting.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna roll 2 dice.
Mm-hmm.
So let me do this. Okay, 1 success. I
One
do take
success, one ouch.
yeah, so I take 2 points of burn because of the inconspicuous. And that I'm going to basically just try to sense whether there's magic coming from it or not. Understanding if I can feel something similar to the pull that I feel from the weave or anything like that.
I'll do it in an interesting way that ties in with the magic of the dagger. The burn that you feel is less of a searing heartburn and more of like a cutting wind. You know, if you've ever been on a hike and it started raining.
I have.
That feels like that on your soul.
So I'm trying to like mask my like, oh, the food gave me heartburn.
Too many potatoes.
Too many. Starchy. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna hand it back to Cages, and I'm gonna say, and I definitely sense something about it. Give me
Elemental.
yeah. There's definitely yeah. So I sense something elemental about it. I'm not exactly sure what. If you give me some time, I'll maybe over the night, like if I'm taking watch or something, I will I'll see what I can I'll do some more reading and see if I can determine anything else. When really I'm just going to be healing my burn damage.
Healing your soul.
Healing my soul so I can attempt to determine the properties at a later date. Just I don't want to risk death over this. But I will say I'm like, interestingly enough, and I don't mind if that part was meta. I don't mind if Maximus hears this part. I'm going to be like, so I'm pretty sure this is magical. I'm pretty sure they've imbued this. It's actual magic. I mean, I'm no expert by any means, but from what I've read and just some general senses that I sometimes get from my studies in the past, there's something about this. They've definitely tapped into something magical with this. So I'm going to continue to investigate, but this is very interesting in this time and this day and age is the word I'm looking for. That they actually have the means to imbue magic. So they definitely are not wrong in their belief that they're strengthening themselves.
This comes at the cost of a life. That's all.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
So whether or not this comes with a curse of some sort, I don't know, but it certainly has something imbued in it. So just be careful with it, and I'll hand it back to Cages. And I'm gonna say,
right when he says the word curse, that's when he's handing it back to Cages. It might be cursed. Here you go. But
well, we
whatever.
don't know because all we know is there was a sacrifice, and I didn't sense anything like that. But I mean, I don't. Who knows? I don't know how this all works exactly, right? So I'm just
Cages
saying, be careful with it.
Cages takes back the dagger and says, "It's already cursed."
Oh, well done. You know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. You just flipped that upside down on me. That's well done. Yeah, I'm gonna. He'd be like, "Well, thank you for taking a look at it," and start talking in tongues.
Start like talking in tongues.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's what I'm gonna say, and like I say, I don't mind. In fact, I would probably want Maximus to hear me, and just kind of be like, so there's something about this, because in my head, just from a out of character standpoint, and more from a for DM information, in my head, I'm also using this as a way to kind of test the magic waters with Maximus to see how he reacts, because I'm still trying to suss out whether or not I can be
And
upfront with him.
Maximus responds to the heartburn how?
I mean,
actually.
he doesn't actually see the heartburn. That you have, like you have like
It's just on my soul.
it's just
like, I
a
feel
heartburn basically.
So I kind of
that,
flinch a bit. But then I'm like, oh. The
I mean,
food's
he's
coming
seen
back
you
up.
do this before. Like you've eaten
Yeah.
food and then you've had
Just got
heartburn.
really
So this
bad
is
acid
just,
reflux.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is just normal for you. So I don't think he would make any overt gestures there. At the mention of magic, like, oh, this is a magic weapon, I think his eyes would light up a little bit. But then when you say basically it could be cursed, then I think then that's when it's like, well, might as well just. I think he would just trust in his tools without the magical ability. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
it's something that he can.
You
Like,
believe it excites you the possibilities, but it
Right.
concerns you also the possibilities.
right, and it's just easier for him, I think, mentally to just trust in something that's worked time and time and like over and over again, instead of rely on something that could be possibly good but also be horrifyingly bad. So
Like that time his wife died.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So exactly, right? So I'm gonna try, like, I'm gonna use my perception, which I'll just take the average, which is a 4
Sure.
plus,
Okay.
to just
what
kind
do
of
you perceive?
determine when his eyes did light up. Like, did I sense that there is a possibility of like acceptance as long as there is some understanding and safety in it, or is it?
People talking about my best friend.
I like, again, just trying to suss out at what point I'm gonna feel comfortable,
here,
if I feel
since
comfortable.
it's actually my character, right, Maximus, that you're perceiving, go ahead, roll your perception
Yeah,
and let's see what you get.
Let's do this. Let's
Is
go.
that an opposition?
All right, I'll
opposed
actually roll it.
Let's
No, I'm
do an
not
opposed
actually
roll.
opposing, right?
No, we haven't done one of these yet.
Okay, do you want me to oppose
Oppose
then?
him.
What am I
Oppose
opposing
him.
with?
I'm
with
perceiving
body.
that you're perceiving. I'm perceiving.
With body?
Yeah,
did you
perceive
say?
as perceive as well. See if you notice him noticing you.
Yeah, exactly.
Fine, here's my
Can we make it? Can
Whoa.
we make it three-way?
Jesus Christmas.
1,
Yeah,
2,
perceive them
3,
perceiving
4.
each other.
I'm perceiving
Oh,
Maximus
I got
to see that
5
if he perceives that Kane is
Yeah.
perceiving him.
Go.
I got 5 successes.
Okay, and I guess I'm
Okay.
rolling my what? Charisma?
So you're trying to perceive Maximus. Now Maximus is going to perceive Kane perceiving him.
Okay. If you say so.
Where good.
2.
Now Cages is going to perceive Maximus perceiving
What?
Kane perceiving Maximus.
What the hell? Okay.
1, 2. Just 2 successes.
I have 2 successes as well, and Kane
I had
has
5.
5. So
Yeah,
I mean,
9 dice.
that's a pretty
So-
high success, right?
Right. So you have perceived that Maximus is a cool guy. Maximus has perceived the look of admiration, and Cages is wondering why the hell he's not in on this moment.
Guys, I'm here too.
There's
But-
been a bit third wheeled here. Not
I
as
think-
third wheeled as Rami,
It's
but
Remy, but
still sidelined.
I think so. I
Two
think
locked eyes for a moment.
you can pretty much you can pretty much guess how Maximus would feel. I mean,
Yeah.
like when his he didn't like go horrified at the thought of magic. Actually, his eyes lit up
yeah,
at
that's
the
what
thought of magic, right? So I mean,
Okay.
for Maximus, magic is more like a tool, right? For him,
Yes. Yep.
it's something that can be used to great benefit, which excites him, and like he realizes the potential of it, right?
Mhm.
But you also get the sense that basically he also worries about
Yeah.
the harmful effects of it as well, as like I think anybody should. But
100%.
I think he's getting this view on magic because he's also kind of in denial. He's like, he believes that the Empire will come back soon, relatively soon. Like we'll make this hardship go away. We'll
Yeah, I did
bring
say
back...
earlier, when the Empire comes back, they'll deal with him.
Right, and like he still believes he still has the view that like the same view of magic that most people in the Empire did at that time.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of like that lighting up of the eyes really was. That's what I figured I took from it. That's why I wanted to kind of see what my character would have perceived. Is that because my belief is, and what my character is, and this is right in my backstory type stuff, my history is that like exactly that magic can be such a valuable tool, and it's really I said it, I think, at the first episode or the second episode, first one I was in, it's like the whole, guns don't kill people, people kill people. And
But the gun
yes,
helps.
it does help, but I
You
mean,
can't just stand there and go bang.
no, but that's just it. Someone can have evil intentions with magic, but that it doesn't mean it's inherently evil. And that's
Like-
basically the whole thing I've been trying to kind of sense from Maximus this whole time, and having this opportunity. That's why I wanted to actually say with him there, it's like, okay, that there's something in this, just to kind of gauge that result. So my long game is coming together. It's wonderful.
We're
Um,
building.
So I will notice. I will say that when I hand it back to you, Cages, the knife, and when you take it back, my hand's gonna kind of like spring up a bit, and I'm gonna be like, does it feel? Does it have any weight to you? Like that just felt like it almost disappeared when I handed it back to you. That was kind of weird.
Yeah.
With that, I don't know.
When
So
when the dagger lands on Cage's hand, there's no plop. It just lands like a feather.
that's bizarre. That something's weird about this. Yeah, like I say, like that. Yeah, I don't know. There's something, like I say, something elemental. It's something. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna have to spend some more time to determine what it is. But that's very interesting. We actually have in our possession something that post Night of Fire has been imbued with magic, which is phenomenally interesting. But we also want to be careful with it. So
Is it still warm?
No, it's cooled off by now.
Cooled off like that?
He's fine.
Sticks it back into its sheath
Mhm.
and puts it under his pillow and says, "Hopefully, we don't need to use this anytime soon." And Cages then like feigns a yawn and hopes it gets contagious. And actually,
it always. Oh, look at you! You just said it. Let me on again.
and then actually like tells everyone that he's going to bed first, uncharacteristically.
Mhm.
Cool.
Cool. I'm going to uncharacteristically send us all to bed. Except for Dave. He's got a whole day ahead of him.
I'll probably still go back to bed for a bit, but yeah.
Just at this, I mean, once he's like got his back turned against everyone else in his bunk, Cages is actually going to start thinking that after the library, what are the plans that he can do that doesn't involve returning to Davos and the Legionnaires?
Ooh,
Good bombshell.
perfect cliffhanger.
Okay, so I guess that's where we're gonna call the episode there. Yes.
Mhm. Now I have to
Okay.
go to my notes going, oh fuck, oh shit, what do I do now? How do I make it worth
Bring
his
it up
while?
now.
God damn it.
Damn Cages
You're like,
for
"Oh,
making
yeah,
the
no, no.
DM's life
You mean these
horrible.
are characters with their own motivations and they're not just playing through my novel I've written?
Yeah, I know, right?
Damn it!
Like, session's over. Session's over.
This is not supposed to happen.
The rock you're sleeping under falls. Goodbye. Disconnect.
All right. Well, if you guys have been watching thus far, thank you. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We will see you next week when we play session 5 later. Bye-bye.
Take care, guys.